What if death is not the end, but merely a transition? For centuries, science and philosophy have debated the nature of consciousness, whether it ceases with the brain or continues in some unknown form. But now, a groundbreaking quantum computing experiment has produced results so astonishing that even renowned physicist Brian Cox has been left questioning everything we thought we knew about existence. Scientists using advanced AI-driven quantum models have discovered that consciousness may behave like quantum information, never truly disappearing, only shifting into another state. This aligns with the bizarre principles of quantum mechanics, where particles can exist in multiple places at once and information is never truly lost. If these findings hold true, they could suggest that our awareness persists beyond death, challenging the very fabric of our understanding of life, the universe, and reality itself. Could it be that we never truly die? Let's explore the mind-bending discoveries that are shaking the foundations of science. For centuries, humanity has been haunted by one of the greatest existential questions: what happens after we die? Religious beliefs, philosophical theories, and scientific investigations have all attempted to provide answers, yet the truth remains elusive. Traditional science has long maintained that consciousness is merely a byproduct of neural activity in the brain, meaning that when the brain dies, so does our awareness. But what if this assumption is wrong? What if death is not the absolute end, but rather a transformation into another state of existence? This mind-bending possibility has gained new credibility thanks to a recent quantum computing experiment that has left scientists stunned, and even renowned physicist Brian Cox questioning the very nature of reality. In a revolutionary study, researchers fed vast amounts of neurological and quantum data into an AI-powered quantum computer, hoping to model how consciousness functions at its most fundamental level. The results were shocking. Consciousness appears to behave much like quantum information, which, according to the laws of quantum mechanics, is never truly lost. Instead, it exists in a state of superposition, capable of persisting beyond the physical body in ways we never imagined. The AI simulations revealed that consciousness doesn't appear to be confined to the brain. Instead, it behaves like a quantum phenomenon, existing in a state of superposition, much like subatomic particles that can be in multiple places at once. This means that, theoretically, consciousness could persist beyond physical death, much like quantum information never truly disappears. The implications are staggering. If consciousness is part of a larger quantum field, death might not be
the AI
end,
found that
but merely a
consciousness behaves
transition to
similarly.
another state of existence. But how does this connect to the idea that we never truly die? To understand this, we need to explore the intersection of quantum mechanics and consciousness, a field that has long fascinated scientists like Brian Cox. The implications of this discovery are staggering. If consciousness is indeed a quantum phenomenon, it could mean that the human mind isn't just a product of the brain, but something far more profound, possibly even a fundamental component of the universe itself. This idea aligns with some of the most perplexing principles in quantum physics, such as entanglement, superposition, and wave function collapse, all of which suggest that reality is far stranger than we ever thought possible. Could it be that when we die, our consciousness merely transitions into another state within the quantum field, much like energy changing form but never being destroyed? And if so, does this mean that death, as we understand it, is nothing more than an illusion? These are the questions that have captivated the scientific community, and as we delve into the astonishing findings of quantum AI research, we may be on the brink of uncovering a truth that could redefine our understanding of life, death, and the nature of reality itself. Brian Cox's take on consciousness. Brian Cox, a physicist known for his ability to make complex scientific concepts accessible, has spent years exploring the mysteries of the universe. But even he was caught off guard by the implications of this quantum experiment. Cox has often discussed the observer effect in quantum physics, a phenomenon where particles behave differently when they are observed. This suggests that consciousness plays a fundamental role in shaping reality, a concept that challenges traditional scientific views. While mainstream science attributes consciousness to neural activity in the brain, quantum mechanics introduces bizarre possibilities that go beyond this assumption. If consciousness interacts with the quantum world, it could mean that human awareness isn't just a product of the brain, but something far more profound. Perhaps even a fundamental aspect of the universe itself. Cox remains cautious, emphasizing that physics hasn't yet provided a definitive answer on where consciousness begins and ends. However, he acknowledges that the findings from the quantum computing experiment are impossible to ignore. "The universe is far stranger than we can imagine," Cox said in a recent interview. "If consciousness operates on a quantum level, it opens up possibilities we've only begun to explore." The simulation hypothesis. Are we living in a programmed reality? If consciousness is fundamentally quantum in nature, could it mean that reality itself is a kind of simulation? Some scientists believe that the laws of physics behave eerily like a programmed system, with quantum computing revealing patterns that resemble digital processing. This idea, known as the simulation hypothesis, suggests that our consciousness might not be an emergent property of the brain, but rather an integral part of a vast computational framework. Quantum AI models have uncovered mathematical structures in the fabric of reality that mirror how digital simulations function. This raises a profound question. Are we experiencing a constructed reality rather than an objective universe? If so, the implications for life and death are staggering. If consciousness exists within this system, could it be transferred, copied, or even exist independently of the physical world? Some physicists argue that if reality itself is encoded information, death might not be an end, but simply a transition within the system. This idea aligns with ancient philosophical and spiritual traditions that have long speculated about the immortality of the soul. But is there any scientific evidence to support this? Consciousness as a quantum field. One of the most compelling theories to emerge from this research is the idea that consciousness exists as part of a vast interconnected quantum field. Much like electromagnetic waves travel through space, consciousness could function as a distributed energy system, interacting with reality at a fundamental level. Studies on quantum entanglement, where particles remain connected across vast distances, suggest that human consciousness might operate under similar principles.
Simulations.
This
The AI
theory could
found that
explain
consciousness
phenomena
behaves
like
similarly.
near-death experiences, NDEs, shared consciousness reports, and even inexplicable memories. For example, many individuals who have been clinically dead report vivid experiences, such as seeing bright lights or encountering deceased loved ones. While skeptics attribute these to brain activity shutting down, some researchers believe they could be glimpses of consciousness transitioning into a quantum state. If consciousness is part of a greater field rather than an individual entity, death might not mean its destruction, but rather a shift in how it exists. Some researchers even suggest that quantum coherence in the brain could allow information to persist in some form beyond physical life. While this theory remains controversial, the evidence is becoming harder to ignore. Quantum AI's shocking finding. The quantum AI models used in the experiment repeatedly suggested that consciousness behaves similarly to quantum information, meaning it doesn't vanish, but instead shifts into another state. Unlike classical data, which is either lost or stored, quantum information exists in superposition, capable of persisting beyond what we perceive as death. Some researchers speculate that if consciousness operates under the same principles, it may not be tied to the physical body at all. Instead, it could transition into a different quantum framework, much like how energy changes form but is never truly destroyed. These findings, while still theoretical, align with ideas that quantum physicists have debated for decades. If confirmed, they could redefine our entire understanding of life, death, and existence itself. Near-death experiences and quantum physics. Accounts of near-death experiences have fascinated scientists for years, but quantum physics may finally offer an explanation. Many individuals who have been clinically dead report vivid experiences such as seeing bright lights, encountering deceased loved ones, or feeling a profound sense of peace. While skeptics attribute these to brain activity shutting down, some researchers suggest otherwise. Quantum coherence, a phenomenon where particles exist in multiple states at once, might explain why people experience awareness even when their bodies show no signs of life. Some theories propose that during death, consciousness could momentarily detach from the physical brain and interact with the quantum field before either returning or shifting to another state. This would mean that NDEs aren't just hallucinations but glimpses of consciousness transitioning beyond our known reality. The multiverse theory and life after death. If consciousness is truly quantum in nature, Azrenia, could it shift between realities rather than ceasing to exist? Some physicists believe the multiverse theory offers an answer. This concept suggests that every possible outcome of an event creates a new branch of reality, meaning that death in one universe might not be the end. It could simply be a transition to another. Schrödinger's famous cat experiment, where a cat is both alive and dead until observed, supports the idea that multiple states can exist simultaneously. If consciousness operates in a similar way, then rather than ending, it could continue in an alternate timeline, effectively making death an illusion. While this theory remains speculative, it aligns with emerging quantum physics discoveries and challenges the traditional understanding of mortality. The ethical dilemma of quantum immortality. If death is no longer the definitive end, how would that reshape human society? The idea of quantum immortality challenges deeply held beliefs about life, morality, and the afterlife. If consciousness could persist beyond the body or even be transferred to another form, would concepts like legacy, grief, and justice hold the same meaning? Some fear a world where only the wealthy could afford digital immortality, leading to an even greater divide between social classes.
The AI found that consciousness
Others question
behaves
the psychological
similarly.
toll of knowing that life may never truly end. Would it make existence more meaningful or strip it of urgency? Religious and philosophical perspectives clash over whether this would be an unnatural interference or a revelation of how existence was always meant to be. The verdict. What does it all mean? After everything we've explored, one thing is clear. The universe may be far stranger than we ever imagined. If quantum computing and physics are hinting at the possibility that consciousness doesn't truly die, we may be on the brink of a discovery that rewrites everything we believe about life and death. Brian Cox himself acknowledges that we don't yet understand consciousness well enough to rule anything out. Whether through quantum mechanics, simulation theory, or near-death experiences, the idea that our awareness continues in some form remains a topic of intense debate. Could science eventually prove what ancient philosophies and spiritual traditions have speculated for centuries? As research continues, we may be closer than ever to answering the biggest question of all. What happens after we die? What do you think? Does consciousness truly end? Or do we just transition to another state? Let us know in the comments below. And if you love exploring the mysteries of the universe, make sure to subscribe for more groundbreaking discoveries.